Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla, and in today's video we're going to talk about all the games that I played in February. February was a light gaming month for me because I was actually doing some painting. So I only really completed one game, but I did play like a puzzle game and some demos. So we'll talk about those too. If you want to see something I painted. Isn't it cute? It's not done yet. It still needs more coats, but I got this design off of like Pinterest and I was painting it in the colors I wanted for my bathroom. I love it. It's so cute. Okay, but let's start talking about the only game that I completely finished in February, which is To the Moon. To the Moon, you play as two doctors and you're visiting this old man who's like on his deathbed, and he calls you because he wants you to make his wish come true. This is like his last wish kind of thing, and his wish is that he wants to go to the moon, which is why the game is called To the Moon. But the thing with this game is they don't actually like fulfill your wishes completely. They actually just make you think that you did by going into your memories and changing things from the past to make it so that you did that goal of yours. This game is actually so hard to describe without sounding like insane or making it sound confusing because it's such a weird concept. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about some things that I liked about this game. So one thing I liked was that it was sad. And that is because I was playing sad games until I sobbed from them. And this game was one of those that a lot of people said made them cry. So I really wanted to play it, and it did not disappoint. It was super sad. Moving through his memories at first was not sad at all. You were just going through his life and seeing him meet his wife and things like that. And then there was a plot twist, which was really sad. And then there was another plot twist, which broke my heart, which was what actually making me cry. And it was a lot, but this game was so complicated. But it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. It was just such an emotional roller coaster. Now, if we talk about the bad in the game, I just feel like we have to mention that this game has a negative depiction of autism, and I don't think it was intentional. I just think this game aged poorly because they focused so much on things that the person with autism in the game were doing that were like not normal. At first, like people would be like, oh, she has that, and they're acting like she has this like rare condition that's gonna either kill her or is making her go crazy. So for a really long time I didn't even realize that it was autism they were talking about at all. But then they have this character be like this weirdo who does these weird things with no explanation. I feel like if this was made today, it would have been a lot more controversial than being made back then, because it just feels ableist. I feel like it just didn't age well. I feel like they might have even been trying to be inclusive, but it just doesn't come off that way. But it doesn't really add or take away from the story. So if we don't think about that part, it's a really good game overall. I want to talk about the story. So if you don't want any spoilers, this is the time to skip ahead where you don't see the giant spoiler word somewhere around here on the screen. And I'll give you a few seconds to skip. Okay, so in this game, like I said, you are two doctors and you visit this old man at his house, and he is on his deathbed. This house was built from scratch by him and his wife. So when you're going back through the memories, you start off at the most recent things that happened. So a lot of it is focused on his wife and him and their relationship. So you see them building the house, buying the land, getting married, going on their first date, going to therapy, her being diagnosed when she's dying, deathbed, things like that. And then you get to the earliest memory which you can reach, which is when they went on their first date. And once you try to go further back into the past, you end up being like blocked because he had some like traumatizing memories and he has suppressed his memories, and so you can't travel back any further, which is your first hint that something crazy is gonna happen. Then you do some task and you get the memories unsuppressed, and you're able to travel back to his childhood. When you get to his childhood, you find out that this man was actually a twin. You walk around with him and his twin and their mom. You walk around and go to like a festival, and that's actually where you meet the woman who's going to become your wife as a little girl. In that moment of time, they promise that if they never make it back to each other, that they're going to meet on the moon, which is where I think he's getting the idea of going to the moon. But since his memory is suppressed, he doesn't really even realize that that's why he wants to go to the moon. But since both of them ended up going to school together and dating and getting married and everything, they never had to go meet on the moon. Fast forward a little bit, after they first met, you go back to like their childhood home, and the two twins are outside playing. His mom is on the phone like, hey, I'm gonna go buy some groceries, blah, 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 I'll let you go. She's backing up in her car, and she runs over the main character's twin, and he dies. And at this point, I'm just like, what? Like, what? And then the mom is so traumatized that she just killed one of her twin sons that she starts calling the main character by the twin that died's name. Pretty much the entire time that you're in the childhood, you can kind of tell that the mom has a stronger bond with his twin brother because he was just kind of like better at everything. Like he would win a prize and she would, and this might even be just how he remembers it, since his mom is traumatized and is not calling him by his brother's name. Like he might just remember it as, oh, this guy is more important than me because my mom doesn't even remember my name now. Yeah, so you find out that the entire time people have been calling him this nickname because it was his twin brother's name, and his mom started calling him that after his twin brother died. And like, what? That was the first plot twist. That's when I was like, okay, this is really sad. But I didn't cry from it because it was just also like crazy sudden. But then the second plot twist. So I told you that the two doctors, their goal is to change the past memories in order to make the main character decide something new so that he can have like a different outcome in his life and meet the goal. So one of the doctors decides that in order for him to make it to the moon, he has to never connect with his wife in the first place. So if he never connects with his wife, then he's gonna remember that promise they made to meet on the moon. So they should just erase all the memories of them after they met in the first place. And the other doctor is like, you can't just erase the memories of his wife. Like that's the most important person in his life. After he had such a hard childhood, this woman is the one who like brought him back, and like that's his only reason for living, and you're just gonna erase all his memories. And the other doctor's just like, trust me. So then you're the doctor that disagrees with it, you become them, and you're just like chasing after the first doctor, like stop, don't erase her memories the whole time. And then you fail and she doesn't erase the memories. And this is where I was sobbing because they have gone, this is a 4-hour long game. 3.5 hours or 3 hours of it has been you finding out stuff about him and his wife and seeing their relationship and seeing them grow old together, or actually backwards because you're going backwards in time. But like this whole time you've just been learning about this couple, and then 3.5 hours in, they just wipe all memory of her. And that was super sad. That made me cry. And then once that happens, you see his like new life now that she's been erased, and you see him go to school. And they also, I think, made it so that his brother doesn't die in the memory. Yeah, they changed it also so that his brother didn't die. So they erased the memories of the wife and made it so his brother didn't die. So then you see his outcome of like how life goes once they do change those things, and he ends up growing up, going to school, going to college, and his brother ends up writing a book or something like that. And then you start playing again when they're going into like NASA. So erasing the love of his life ended up him wanting to actually make it to the moon, and he goes and works for NASA, and he's like a new astronaut, and he's like in training and whatever. So you're just like, okay, but like where is she? And the doctor's like, okay, well, we can't control what she does, but let's see what ends up happening. So you're playing in NASA, and then she walks in and she's like also an astronaut in training because she also wanted to go to the moon. And then you guys get on a little ship. Not really you, because you're just watching because you're the doctors. But the couple gets on the little rocket ship, fly to the moon together, and then credits roll. And that's the end of the game. This game is just so hard to describe without making it completely confusing because it's just so complicated. Like, it's only 4 hours long and so much happened. It's like a game that you just have to play in order to understand, but it was interesting. That was To the Moon. Now let's talk about another game I played, which is just a puzzle game. It's called Packmaster. Packmaster is a cute little game that is good when you're just trying to pass the time. You want to listen to an audiobook or podcast because it does not require any thinking. I haven't finished it because it has a lot of levels, but after like 63 levels was when I finally found a level that was really hard and I had to really think about it and like restart to try again. I haven't even said what this game is about. This game, you get this little suitcase and you get random items and you gotta put the little items in the suitcase and make sure they fit. But they're not easy to fit because they're like random shaped items. Like you might get a ukulele and like a pair of glasses and you have to put them in a triangle case or something. But it's a really cute game. But like I said, it is not challenging. At least for me. I don't know if I do just play games too much, but you just slide it in and it usually fits. I think, like I said, it took 60-ish, a little more than 60 levels for me to find one that I had to restart because it was really difficult and I had to keep trying over and over again. Because you were like, I want to get 3 stars on everything. And so if you take too long to do it, you don't get the 3 stars anymore. So I had to restart every time I dropped to 2 stars. And it was rough. But then after that one, I kept playing and I think I got to like 120 levels and I didn't find another really challenging one again. It wasn't hard, but it is cute. One of the things I really liked about it though was that you could either play with the Joy-Cons or you can just grab the items and drag them into the suitcase. So it's touchscreen, and I love that because one of my pet peeves for a Switch game is when something looks like it should have a touchscreen because you're literally on a Switch, which is a touchscreen, and then it doesn't work. And you know who does that a lot? Pokemon games. I get so mad. You'll have like the menu open and you just want to like click on something and it doesn't work. And it's a touchscreen. Why? Just make it touchscreen, please. Anyways, so I was glad that Packmaster was a touchscreen and I could just drag it because sometimes I could be more precise with my fingers. Sometimes I'm more precise with the Joy-Con, depending on like where I want to put it in the suitcase. But other than that, it does get more and more difficult as you go. Like they start adding random stuff. It just never really got actually difficult, even though the levels got less easy, if that makes sense. Those were the only 2 games that I played in February. Like I said, light gaming month, but I did play some demos because Steam Next Fest was going on and they had a lot of games that released demos that were coming out soon. So let's go over some of those. The first demo I played was for Binding Manor, and it actually let me play through like 2 sections, and it felt like a lot of game for a demo. Actually, super fun. I think I really enjoyed this game. You walk around a manor and you find hints to help you grow plants. You have like a seed in a pot of soil and you plant it and water it, and then with the hints you have to like recreate the perfect environment to grow these plants. So like for the first one, it only grows in a certain temperature, so you had to walk around and explore to find out what temperature it grows in, and then find out it was like different hints and stuff, and then you had to grow it, put it into where the temperature is, and actually like grow it, and it would grow. And then there was another 1 or 2 plants in the demo. I think like 1 more plant, but it was really nice because I feel like finding the hints was really easy because you can see where in the manner you could interact with stuff, so you could just go up to it and click on it. So that was easy, but you still had to think about how to put those hints together so that it would work. I just really like the difficulty level for this game because even though you could find the hints really easily, I feel like I still had to think about it. I don't think it was difficult, but I can see how in future levels it would get difficult because we did just do the first 2 and I had to think about it. I had to put it together. You had to actually like pick up the item and explore it fully, and it was nice. I liked it. I am looking forward to seeing more of it. The next demo I played is called Mizi No. I actually really enjoyed this game all also. In this game, you watch a cat continuously break stuff, like when you know how like they get on the ledge and they just push stuff over to knock it down. That's what you're watching this cat do, and then you're gonna go put the item back together in a puzzle. Some puzzles were absolutely harder than others, and I really enjoyed the demo, and I really enjoyed the difficulty in the demo. I was also looking through the Steam store, and it said that this game is going to be free when it releases, and if that's the case, I'm absolutely playing it because of course. Another demo I played was for the game Tell Me Your Story. This game was super nice to look at because it had some beautiful art that looked like it was drawn in like crayon, and it was super cute. In this game, you play as a girl visiting her grandma, and she's gonna tell you about herself through her stories. I don't know if it's because it's a demo, but in the game, all of the chat like monologues were all like little symbols instead of actual words, and I kind of hope it's just a thing for the demo because sometimes I just have no idea what they were going for, what they were trying to tell me, because it wasn't real words, and I really hope that that's gonna get filled with the real words later. I can see why it would just be like a cute little symbol and not real words, but I want to read it. I've never thought I would be asking for more reading in a game because I hate reading in games. But I feel like this game really needed it because I couldn't tell you, if I didn't read the description, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that these were like her grandma's stories because it just wasn't really clear because there was no actual words to tell me. So when I was playing it, I hadn't read the description, at least not recently. You see the girl show up at her grandma's house and that much is clear, like, you know, but then they go to the Amazon, like the rainforest, and I'm just like, why are we here? And I thought it was just like a cute little drawing, a cute little next section with cute drawings, but I guess the grandma was telling her about her time in the Amazon. Now that I read the description, it makes more sense, but just playing the game, I didn't really understand that. So I enjoyed that each puzzle was completely different from the other ones, so like every single game was unique, but I feel like some of them I had no idea what they wanted me to do, like at all. Like I was just moving things around, guessing, not having any idea what I was supposed to do. But I did like that they included hints in case you really needed it, because I had to use a few. And I also like that it limits the hints to 3, but once you get to 3 hints, it gives you another puzzle to unlock more hints. So you kind of have to work for them, which I think is kind of smart. But I hope also this is in the demo, but I went through the hints twice. Like I said, some of these puzzles I had no idea what was going on. And the second time I went to get new hints, it was the exact same puzzle from the first time. So I hope that they're gonna have like a variety there, because it would kind of get repetitive having to do the same puzzle over and over again for more hints. I think it was a game I kind of enjoyed, but I don't think I'm going to be playing the full game just because something felt like it was missing for me. I think it might be because I had to use hints so often that I just didn't feel satisfied when I solved a puzzle. I just was so stuck a lot. It's just, you can't feel satisfied when you need to keep constantly asking for help from the hints, you know? But other than that, it was a cute game. It may just be me that I was just not the type of person to be good at those kind of puzzles. And last but not least, I played the demo for News Tower. This demo felt endless. This was the only demo that I didn't just get to the end of it. I just put it down because I got tired of playing because it was gonna go on forever. I don't think there was an end to that demo. Of course there has to be one, but it didn't feel like it. In this game you run a newspaper and you are the boss. So you have so many tasks that you are in charge of. The only thing you don't do yourself is go find the news and write it down. As the boss, you have to send out reporters to find out information for you. You have to hire staff to not only be the reporters, but the writers, and you have to hire people to clean. You have to hire people to restock your paper. You have to buy the paper when you need it to be restocked. You need to set up the layout for the newspaper, and depending on the layout, it depends on how much you'll sell. You have to focus on your associates' discomfort levels, like if it's too noisy, if there's no light, if they don't have nice atmosphere. You have to, oh my god, there was so much. You could expand to different cities. You get access to different stories. You have to know which reporters can write about different stories because not all of them can access the different types of stories. Then you have like side quests where like someone will come in and tell you, hey, don't write about politics this week. Hey, write about this sports game this week. And then you also have to hope that the information and the writing gets done within the week because you have to publish it all by Sunday. So if you get a really good story on Friday, are you going to have enough time to get it done by Sunday so that you can actually put it there? Because then if not, they're going to keep writing it until the next week. And if you post it in the next week's, then it's old news and you don't get much money. It was just so much to think about that it was kind of overwhelming for me, to be honest. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but it was a lot. I feel like it introduced things too quickly. I don't know if it's the demo or if it's what it is in general, but I feel like it would really benefit from like 1 week, you just focus on getting one story and publishing it. And then the next week they should be like, oh, but actually you can get different types of stories. And the next week, oh, by the way, you could run out of paper. And then the next week, oh, by the way, you need a janitor. But I feel like it was too much too fast. They were like, oh, hire a janitor, hire this, do this, do this, do this. And it was just like stressful. I felt like I was actually working and I want to escape from that. Or instead of doing it by week, because that actually might be too fast too, do it by city. Be like, in this city, it's so dirty that you need to hire a cleaner. And then in this city, it's so loud that you need to focus on the comfort levels of your associates, because if it gets too loud, they won't write better. And then separate it by cities or something like that, because I just felt like it was a lot. It was a lot. I normally like management games, but I like to be able to relax and let them work, you know? And that's all for February. If you made it all the way here, let me know in the comments what game you played in February. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.